Lisa, tends to tear people down to make herself look better. Jen also is a human being, and she did some really bad things, or at least it certainly appears that way. I've not had a sit down with her to hear why she took this plea, but I'm assuming it's because she is guilty.
Welcome back to Access Hollywood's Housewives Nightcap. I'm Lauren Herbert, and Emily is off this week, but no worries. We are going to do a deep dive into season 3, the finale, the last reunion episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Up first, we got Miss Meredith Marks, and we are going to talk to her about that wild reunion. And then we also have Angie Harrington to break down the season and what is going to come next for season 4. Hey Meredith, season 3 has come and gone already. It happened so fast. Tell me, was this what you were expecting this season to be?
I don't think it's ever what you expect. I think that there's always things that go on that you obviously don't know about. You're not everywhere at all times. And so that's always surprising. You also have surprises by, it's snippets. And so sometimes we see things and other times we don't. And that can have a pretty big impact in different ways at different times. So it's always a surprise.
Looking back, what do you think your rose of the season was? And what do you think the thorn of the season was?
The rose, I would say, is definitely the charity event for ADR. That was really very meaningful to me and my family. And it was, I thought everything went really well and it was very positive. The thorn for me would be the way that many of the women choose to decide what I think, what I feel, and what I intend. And they don't know that. And they tend to just impart things on me because they feel like it on a whim, make up stories, make up rumors, this, that, and the other. There's a very big difference between saying there are rumors out there that I don't believe and completely annihilating someone's character based off either things you made up or rumors you heard.
Do you feel any better about that situation and those things that were brought up after the reunion?
I mean, the real issue is after the reunion, more things transpired that just showed me true colors.
I think it's safe to assume that one of those persons that's showing their true colors is Lisa. Yeah.
That is
okay. So I guess you kind of already answered this, but where do you stand with Lisa? Because we see at the reunion, you guys do talk, but you don't really make amends.
Well, I tried very early on in the process. You saw last week, I said, I don't know where we can go, but we did once have a meaningful friendship, and out of respect for that, perhaps we can treat each other with kindness and respect. And that's just not what happened. I mean, I was, tonight, you'll see. That was not what happened. And even after that, other things, went on with her on social media that showed me she does not intend to treat me with kindness and respect. So it's fine. It's not that big of a deal in my life. At the end of the day, I'm very fortunate to have a lot of very good friends who do treat me with kindness and respect. And so if she doesn't want to be my friend, that's okay. Say la vie.
Say la vie. Do you see a world, because you did just bring up, you guys were good friends at some point. I know the hot mic moment happened, which is really hard to come back from, I would imagine. But do you see a world where you guys could come back together again? Or is it off the table at this point?
So the funny thing is, Lisa's little childish tantrum, I forgave in Arizona. I hugged her. I supported her. Like I said, it's snippets. You don't see everything. She was very upset that night when, we were with Heather and Whitney at the dinner where they were trying to resolve their issues. And I comforted her. Like, we were in a positive zone. And, the next thing I knew, she tweeted lies about my father's death. And that was like a no-go for me. Not after what happened with his memorial, not after how they all treated me surrounding it. And it was a big problem, and she refuses to take accountability and tell the truth. I have the receipts that she has, and I keep saying, let me see them. All I see is a black folder, and she's not showing them to me because the dates are not when my father passed away. It was from the following month. My father died in February. These are receipts from March. And she tweeted all that out there to make it look like I was a liar. That's where we have a problem. She still has not taken accountability for that.
Why do you think she's going that extra mile to do something like that?
It feels to me, unlike what Lisa and Whitney did all season, which was to just say what they think about me as if it's a fact. I will say this is my opinion. What feels to me is that Lisa, tends to tear people down to make herself look better. And so if that's what she needs to do, that's what she'll do. She has spoken poorly about every single one of the women. I mean, Whitney's trash, Heather's a good time girl and a liar, Jen's a criminal. I have been called everything I could ever come up with. So anyone who believes Lisa Barlow at this point is a moron.
Now, where do you stand with the other ladies as of now?
Everything's good with Heather. Everything's good with Angie Harrington. There still is a bit of a divide, and I'll have to see where things pan out with everyone else. Like I said, I don't know where I can go with Lisa because she's refusing to take accountability for a very, very big deal to me. That was major. That was not minor. And so if she wants to be accountable and be honest, and I'm open to moving forward with anybody. We're all human. We all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. And it's all about just apologizing, which I did right away. I apologized to Lisa in Arizona. I apologized to her via text when the episode aired because I saw that she had been very hurt. I apologized again at reunion. All apologies without excuses, without strings attached, nothing, just an I am sorry. I don't want to hurt your feelings, and it's not that complicated.
It's not that complicated. Now, you just brought up Heather. A lot of fans have been up in arms over the whole black eye saga. She came out last week basically saying she was blacked out. She does not remember what happened. Do you believe her in that way? Does she just really not know what happened, what made her have that black eye?
I mean, I do, partially because I don't know what really could have happened other than like she walked into the corner of a cabinet, or I don't know, because the truth of the matter is we left her room at like 4 a.m. and everyone went to bed. I lost my cell phone. And so I had actually walked into other people's rooms looking for it, and everyone was in bed with their lights out. And besides which, you can't get down the hallway without picking it up on a camera. There's just no way that anyone went in there. It's just not possible in my view. So yeah, I believe her. I think she probably doesn't know, because why else wouldn't she have just said, oh, I fell, or I opened the cabinet into my eye, or, I think she would have told us that. What's the big deal? So I think it's very truthful. I think she just does not know.
She seemed very, I don't know if embarrassed is the right word, but she just seemed very taken aback by like having to say that she just does not remember. How is Heather today? Is she over, has she moved forward from that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak for Heather, but I know it was very trying for her. I know the whole thing was really very, very upsetting, and she's working to move forward. She's definitely healing and on a positive path.
Now, you have been very vocal about your support with Jen through all of this. She was obviously just sentenced 6.5 years to prison. How are you going to support her while she is away, or are you still supporting her?
I don't know how things are going to look moving forward. I can't really speak to any of that. I still am trying to digest and understand everything that, has happened. It's a lot that went on. Look, at the end of the day, of course, my sympathies are with the victims. There's no question about that. But Jen also is a human being, and she did some really bad things, or at least it certainly appears that way. I've not had a sit down with her to hear why she took this plea, but I'm assuming it's because she is guilty, until I hear otherwise and have something else to believe. So, obviously it's bad, but she's a human being, and I'm hoping that, she does what she needs to do to make it right as best she can. And that's that. I mean, she's still a human being. She does not deserve to die. She's someone who's made attempts on her own life, which is obviously a very, very, very sensitive subject to me after what I went through with my nephew. And you can't ice people out entirely, or that's what ends up happening. I know the backside to that. I know where it goes, and that's not happening on my watch.
Where do you hope next season goes?
I'm hopeful for positivity. Like, I'd like it to be light. I'd like it to be fun. We've had a lot of really, really, really heavy issues, all the way around, all of us really. I mean, for the most part, maybe not everybody, but most of us. And it would be nice to just have a little more fun, keep it lighter, not so morbid, about fun and living, not about like prison and dying.
Do you think you'll be back next season? Because this is your 4th season already, which is crazy that it's already going to be 4 seasons of Salt Lake. Do you want to come back? Do you think you'll be back?
I mean, I guess we'll just have to see. Maybe it depends on how things go tonight. I don't know.
Okay, we just need to jump right in. This season was wild. You had a lot of wild moments a part of this season. So tell me what your highs and lows were for season 3 of Salt Lake City.
Oh my gosh, highs. Anytime I got to film with my girl Heather, we have so much fun together. I mean, there was so many stuff there were so many moments where we were just like dying laughing, but it didn't pertain to what was happening. So it didn't make the edit. But we just love to clown around. I love getting dressed up. I love the fashion and the look of it all. No, I always say no outfit goes wasted on Housewives, which is awesome. But I would say the lows were the issues I had with Jen. Whitney claiming I said something I did not. That was really challenging because one thing I'm not is a liar. I'm almost honest to a fault where I get myself in trouble. So that was really hard.
And I would imagine a part of that is the whole Instagram of it all.
Right.
How did you deal with that? Because you weren't the one that did it. It was your significant other. So for you, how did you process all of that?
That was really challenging because I have made a point not to be that person because so many of my cast members have done that, whether they'll admit it or not. And I was just like, I'm never going to do that. The problem was after a particular cast member had gone to the press telling a one-sided story, coming at me through whether it was blogs or manipulating bloggers, because I have proof of that, of her talking to bloggers. My husband finally felt like you have to tell your side of the story. And the reason he didn't do it from his own voice is he was afraid I would get in trouble. And so there was no bullying, there was no trolling. It was just simply, here's what happened, because the other people involved in the story had told their side. So he felt like he wanted to tell my side because he could tell I was really suffering. Now, having said that, we both know it was a stupid mistake to do it from a dummy account. I stand by what he said. Just say it from your own voice. That was the problem.
Did you really not know that he started it?
I didn't. No, I had no idea because I think he knew I would have disapproved. And he's the type that anytime someone he loves is suffering, he goes into protection mode. And so he just felt like it felt so unjust that I couldn't get my side of the story out. But what he didn't realize is that it was going to backfire and blow up in my face. And he felt horrible. And so he's been really great about it, but it was a mistake for sure. And he owned it. And it would be nice if the other people who do the same thing would own it too, but I don't think that will ever happen.
So Angie, do you hope next season that you can come back and maybe be full-time? Because weren't you supposed to be full-time at some point? I know there was like reports out there.
There's, you know, there's been a lot of rumors about where I stand. I think season one, for whatever reason, my name got put in the press and I was never a part of it season one. I went to one dinner. So that was just as surprising to me as it was to other people. Season two, I genuinely auditioned because Lisa was like, you got to do this, you got to do this. And I was like, okay, 300 people are probably auditioning. There's no way they'll cast me. Will they cast me? So I was like, okay, season two, I came on as a friend of, because that's typical. You have to start that way. And after about a month of filming, I ended up leaving. I just was like, whoa, this is a lot. It was intense. My baby was still young. And then season three, they came back around and asked me if I would want to be involved. And Heather talked me into it. And she just said, look, you fought with the hardest person to fight with on the cast. I promise it's fun. Come back. So I came back season three, and I kind of had to start that process all over because I left season two. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. So maybe next season we get a full-time. We get
Well,
a full-time snow.
we'll see. Your guess is as good as mine. We've got a lot going on in our family right now, and so my you know, we had a recent diagnosis, and without going into too much information, my family's going to need a lot of my time and energy. And so I don't know. We'll see how it lands.
Well, my thoughts, prayers, all my good vibes are to you and your family, whatever
Thank you.
you're going through.
I appreciate that.
I did want to ask you one last question. Where do you stand with all the ladies after the reunion, after this season?
I'm okay with everybody. Obviously Lisa and I don't get to see eye to eye. My dynamic with Whitney has changed a lot. She communicates in a way that is not conducive to friendships for me. And then Heather and I are thicker than ever. I'm really close with Meredith. Jen and I are okay. I don't really talk to her much, but we're okay, which is good. So I would say the only person that I'm not okay with is Lisa. I'm okay with everybody else, and really tightest with Heather and Meredith.
Do you feel good about your appearance on the reunion?
On the reunion, yes. That was my opportunity to finally tell the world that I'm not a liar. Right. And neither one of you accusing me of being a liar can't tell me what I lied about. So that was really important to me because my integrity means a lot to me, you know, and I think I finally felt like I had a voice at the reunion. So that I really was happy with the reunion.